Good afternoon, and thank you for taking time to be present today to participate in the larger life of the church, to worship together, and to join in discussions about the future of the ELCA, the Northeastern Iowa Synod, and congregational life. Before we jump into our conversation, let me remind you that we are not holding a Synod Assembly this year. Instead, we are holding a day of workshops on June 1st called Creative Collaborative Congregations, or C3. This will be a day of workshops available to anyone in your congregation. Information about the workshops and registration will be sent out later this spring, but please save the date. The second thing that I want to lift up is a new collaboration in Region 5, the 12 synods that include Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Upper Michigan. All rostered clergy are required to participate in sexual and ethic boundary training on a regular and ongoing basis. Many of our synods also require racial justice training. We believe that by pooling our resources, Region 5 synods can provide better and more consistent training for our clergy. In November, we begin a 3-year rotation of annual training events to cover sexual and ethical boundaries, racial justice training, and gender justice training. The training will take place in person at multiple locations in the Synod. Participation will be required for all clergy under contract or call to our congregations and ministries, and all Synod authorized ministers. Which leads us to today's conversation. The Northeastern Iowa Synod is working together with the Western Iowa Synod, the Southeastern Iowa Synod, and the Southern Central Synod of Wisconsin to develop a program that will identify, equip, and support certified lay ministers to help lead congregations in times of need. Synod authorized ministers, or SAMs, would be trained to lead worship, preach, and preside at the sacraments of baptism and communion when an ordained pastor is not available. This might be during a pastoral search, or it might be necessary when a 4 or 5 point parish is being served by one pastor. It might also be an option that gives a small congregation time to restructure or make difficult decisions about its future ministry. While we are still working out the details, it appears that there will be 2 components to this training. The first is participation in an existing lay school of theology, such as the one in the Northwest Synod of Wisconsin. This lay school meets one Friday evening and all day Saturday per month, September through May. It provides classes in Old Testament, New Testament, Lutheran theology, and church history. These classes can be attended online or in person. The second component would require an additional Saturday or another day per month that would teach preaching, pastoral care, administration, and teaching. The whole program will take 2 years to complete and also includes participation in an annual retreat. We are estimating the cost to be less than $3,000 for both years, with the Synod, the congregation, and the lay minister to all share in the costs. Completion of this program will not license anyone to preach or preside over the sacraments at their own discretion. Synod authorization will come from the bishop in conversation with the lay minister and the congregation they will be serving. Ideally, the lay minister will belong to the congregation in which they serve. Authorization will be for a set amount of time at a particular location. Any extension of the time or any change of location will require a new authorization. And finally, each SAM will have an ordained pastor to mentor them during the training as well as during their service. At first glance, this may not seem like a big deal. In reality, This is a foundational shift in the way we are church together. That's why I want us to be in conversation about it. This afternoon, I'm going to invite you to gather in groups of 6 to 8 people around a table or in a circle. Try to sit with people from different congregations if possible. Please select one person to record the main points of your conversation on the sheet that is provided. The objective today is not to debate or to find problems with someone's statements, but to listen to one another and hear what everyone has to say. To avoid 1 or 2 people dominating the conversation, I will introduce each topic and indicate which person in the group should speak first. When you have shared your thoughts, please invite someone in the group who has not yet spoken to go next. Say, I invite Mary to go next. I know that speaking up in a group of people you don't know can be difficult for some. It can also be intimidating to talk about church and faith matters with pastors in the group. But your thoughts matter. Thank you for being courageous in this discussion. And make sure everyone in the group gets a chance to speak in the time allotted. It will go quickly. The conference dean or one of the synod staff will be responsible for keeping the time and drawing the large group back together. At that time, they will unpause the video and I will introduce the next topic. There will be 3 short conversations and then an opportunity to share what your group talked about with the larger group. I invite you to pause the video right now while everyone gets into groups of 6 to 8 people. Hit play when the large group is ready to begin the first conversation. Here in northeastern Iowa, across the ELCA, and in all mainline Protestant denominations, there are more congregations in need of a pastor than the total number of available pastors. Currently, there are more retiring pastors every year than the number of people entering the process to become ordained. And with the ever-rising cost of healthcare benefits, some otherwise vital congregations are unable to afford a full-time ordained pastor. In your small groups, talk about the potential benefits of training lay people to lead worship in the congregations of the Northeastern Iowa Synod. The 10 Commandments require us to honor our elders, so I invite the eldest female in your group to speak first. When you finish sharing, invite someone else to speak next. You'll have about 12 to 15 minutes to discuss. You can pause the video now. Lutherans have a distinctive theology and voice in the whole Christian church. Thorough formation, training, and vetting have been vital to the Lutheran Church when raising up people to be ordained leaders. A pastor or deacon that is ordained is on the roster of the whole church. A synod-authorized minister would be available for public ministry in a specific context and, according to our Constitution, for a limited length of time, although it doesn't specify what that length of time can be. What other distinctions do we need to be aware of? For example, how do we refer to synod-authorized ministers? The term pastor doesn't apply. Vicar or intern refer most commonly to a student pastor working towards ordination. I invite the person whose birthday falls closest to today's date to begin the conversation in your group. You'll have again 12 to 15 minutes for everyone to speak. You may pause the video now. This fall, the capital campaign to raise money for our lay training program in the Synod received over $24,000 from 100 individuals and 20 congregations. It also generated conversations around the Synod. I'm excited about the energy this program is tapping into and believe that the Holy Spirit is guiding us in this direction. But that doesn't mean that will come easily or without a few challenges. One challenge will be setting expectations. Already, there are congregations and individuals whose dreams are far ahead of what will become reality. Setting guidelines for exactly when a SAM is right for a congregation will be difficult. What other hurdles or challenges can you imagine will pop up as we move in this direction? Let's not worry about solutions today. A good list of what we need to address will be enough. To begin this final small group discussion, I invite the person who spoke last in the previous question to begin the conversation in your group this time. You will again have about 12 to 15 minutes. You may hit pause now. Thank you for being a part of this important conversation. Be sure to turn in your notes to the person leading today's conversation, and they will make sure that I get them. If you're interested in learning more about this program, either for yourself or for your congregation, please contact Pastor Liz Bell at the Northeastern Iowa Synod office. There will also be workshops at the Creative Collaborative Congregations event in Waverly on June 1st. I hope to see you there. May the rest of your day be blessed with safe travel home and a joyful participation in whatever you have planned.